All right, Garrett, we are doing a different series or different style of fishing reports here for Devil's Lake now, which we're gonna do a lot more entertaining as far as video and content and live from the boat. But today and tomorrow is gonna be pretty windy, so we figured that we'd do it this way and have you have you tell us what's going on. I know that we're starting to get into the tail end of the fishing season, but you guys are gearing up for a lot of different things and let's let's hear what you got going on here, boss. Who are you? What's going on out there?
Yeah, so I'm Garrett Bonham. I guide with Bry's Guide Service here in Devil's Lake. I'm also part owners of Ed's Bait Shop. So I was actually just in the bait shop, and believe it or not, we still have leeches, which is amazing for this time of year. It might be the first time ever. Um, so we're actually just coming off a big weather event. We just got inch to 2 inches of rain, depending on where you're at in the Devil's Lake Basin. That was yesterday and into the evening before. So I'll be kind of curious to see how it changed things. We had some big wind, might have dirtied up that water a little bit. So I'm going to find out here this afternoon. But like Pat was saying here a little earlier, with the wind this afternoon, it would have been pretty tough to try to get anything live, I think, done in the boat. But yeah, I think should be okay. What I had been doing the last couple of weeks is actually a lot of jigs with crawlers and then bobbers and leeches, just because, like I said, I have them. Usually I don't. So kind of something that I don't even really plan to do this time of year because usually I have no access for them. And this year I did. But I think today what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off pulling lead core crankbaits. So kind of the primary thing I like to do is Salmo Hornets, number 4.5, number 5. So kind of my two starters. And I think I'm just going to cover water. And then with that dirtier water, which I assume it's going to be dirtier. I guess I can't confirm or deny yet, but try to just cover some water and maybe get a little bit more reaction, a little bigger profile, try to trigger some bites.
So when you say that you're trolling lead core with those Salmo Hornets, are you looking for rattles in that dirtier water, or are you looking for straight up plain? What kind of depth range are you looking?
So the 4.5 has rattles, the 5 does not.
Okay,
Historically, the 4.5 has been my favorite by far. Usually outfishes the 5 every day of the week, and this year I'm having the exact opposite. Um, Whether or not that'll be the case today, I guess we'll see. So I'll probably start with 2 and 2. I've been having better luck with more greens, I'd say. So kind of like your fire tiger, chartreuse, stuff like that. It seems like it's been a little bit better. A lot of years, chrome blue, some white. Seems like it does pretty well. But yeah, this year the greens I'd say have been by far the best.
really. What kind of depth range are you looking at for this time of year?
Lately, I've been kind of in that 10 to 15 feet of water. So really, you don't have to have the lead core. I do prefer it. It's just less line. You don't have to worry about letting out 115 feet of line. Now I'm only letting out about 50 to 65, really. So works out a little bit better. Don't have to reel the fish in as far.
Sure. So you're primarily running what, two color lead core then?
Yeah, so that ends up being, yeah, 55 feet back, 65 feet back. So yeah, it'd be
Okay.
generally in there.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you usually put a lead on as far as going from the lead core to the bait, right?
Yep. So I do a 9 foot fluorocarbon leader is what I use. This year I tried something a little bit different. I actually went to the 27-pound lead core. I learned something new this summer. I assumed that the 27-pound and the 18-pound would have different dive charts, but they don't. They're the same.
Really?
Um, so I thought, well, we do have a lot of snags out here in Devil's Lake, so might as well have the power and try to rip some stuff out. So I run the 27 to a 15-pound fluorocarbon.
Okay. And what I guess your lead line, what size or what pound test do you run on that?
Just the 15-pound fluorocarbon.
Gotcha. All
Yeah.
right. Perfect. And then are you finding these fish holding the structure? You're talking about a lot of snags and all that other good stuff. Are you running road beds? Are you running the transition areas by the bridges? Where are you targeting right now with with the cranks especially?
A lot of structure. And even with the jigs and the bobbers, I was fishing structure. Some of it very, very tight, actually, to the size of some of the stuff was so tight where the boat barely even fits on it. One side of the boat would catch all the fish and the other side wouldn't catch hardly anything just with how tight the structure was. But yeah, definitely seeing the fish on rocks, in trees, on top of roads, and then current areas definitely are starting to produce. So some of the guys are really doing well at the bridges, also.
Okay. So this time of year, you also have waterfall hunters, right? They're
Yep.
coming out, and the girls, and they're doing that. Matter of fact, we're packing up and we're coming out next week and stuff. But the reason I ask that is if we pack some rods and we don't have the ability to get in boats, just like a lot of the hunters that are coming out right now, and they're going to be targeting mostly waterfall, but a lot of times that waterfall hunting is down, by noonish. And what do you do all afternoon before the birds start flying in the afternoon for scouting for the next morning? Is there a possibility or an option to do some shore fishing while I'm out there, this time of year?
Oh, for sure, for sure. One of our actual part-time guides, I ran into him the other day. He's been doing more shore fishing than he has been in his boat. So if that tells you anything,
Hmm.
bring some rods. So what he's been doing, jigging a crawler, and he's been in one of the current areas, and he's just laying that jig on the bottom. And he said, you just get back, set your rods out, and just wait because they're just picking it right up off the bottom. And he's been doing quite well. He's been fishing more mornings, but he does say it doesn't start till about 9 o'clock. So um, not after you don't have to be out there at sunrise or sunset or anything like that. So it's kind of a midday bite is what they've been seeing. But definitely could do that. Could throw some jigs and plastics. Could lay a leech on the bottom. There's a lot of opportunities out there right now. The weeds have definitely grown up, so you can't fish quite anywhere like you can in the spring. So you got to kind of pick and choose on where you're at and trying to find that nice clean area. Yeah, definitely bring the rods. There's a lot of opportunity this time of year.
Perfect. And if we swing through over at Edge, we can grab some crawlers and some leeches. Hopefully there'll be some left.
I think we still do. Yeah. I looked into the tank and there's still probably another 10 pounds in there. So I,
Okay.
I think we'll have leeches through October unless we get some mad rush.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time. We look forward to seeing some pictures and some video that you shoot it from the water here this afternoon, so we can lay with this and let the people see what's all going on out there. So how long do you think that you have that boats are going to still be able to hire? You said you're with Bryce Guide Service. Number one, how do we get a hold of you? Number two is how long do I have that if I do come out waterfall hunting, or even if I come out targeting fish, how do we get a hold of you, and how long do we have?
So you can go right onto our website, brideguideservice.com, and you'll talk to Mark Bride. He can line everything up for you. And honestly, we're pretty flexible this time of year. The group I have this afternoon and possibly tomorrow afternoon, weather dependent, they're here duck hunting. So they're duck hunting right now. Once they get wrapped up, I'm waiting for a text. I'll go pick them up, and then we'll head out for a couple hours this afternoon. And that is really kind of honestly what I'll probably be doing for basically the next month, weather dependent. Last year I went into November, doing the same thing. We've gotten snow the third week of October and shut the whole thing down too. So I think you'll see a solid month of it. And like I said, if you want to do something last minute, you wake up in the morning, the weather's beautiful, ducks fly good, and you guys are done early. Honestly, we could probably get you out that afternoon, even that short of a notice. So feel free to call. The worst thing we can say is no, but we got a few guys on standby that are ready to go. So we're available. Check us out
Awesome.
next month, possibly even into November. Just kind of see what that weather does. But I see our bite continuing to be well.
That's awesome. One last thing before I leave, just because I'm a waterfall hunter as well. How is the bird hunting out there right now?
So personally, I haven't been out myself. Talking to a few guides that have been out, and I'm kind of hearing mixed reviews. Some guys are saying it's a little bit tougher. Definitely not as many young birds as what there has been the last few years. Maybe the hatch wasn't quite as good, which is what they were saying all summer long. So
Hmm.
you can kind of believe that. But there is some birds around, and with all this rain, there's going to be a little more sheet water, and I think there's going to be some opportunities here, and we got some cold weather. It was borderline freezing here this morning, and it's going to be the same tomorrow morning. So should start pushing some birds around and hopefully get that flight rolling.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time, Garrett, and good luck this afternoon. We look forward to seeing what you do.
Alrighty, thank you, Pat.
All right, thanks.
Hey Pat, just a little update. Just got off the water, got the boat back into the shop, got everything cleaned up for the day. So we ended up changing it up a little bit. We actually ended up doing bobbers and leeches and jigs and crawlers. So we used an 8-ounce jig, just bounce that off the bottom with a half a night crawler, and then bobbers with leeches, bare hooks, and small jigs. Equally did about the same. I did notice that we did much better on the bobbers when they were closer to the bottom. So I had one bobber that I had set for probably about a foot off the bottom. It wasn't getting any bites, and I ended up making that lead about 6 inches off the bottom, and immediately started catching fish. I bet that caught the next 5 fish. So worked out pretty well. We were actually on a main lake point that comes off. We were sitting about 22 feet of water, and the fish were there. So there were some rocks underneath us, and they just kind of came in waves. So we have nothing for, probably about 10 to maybe 15 minutes, and then we'd get 1 to 5 bites. So things were pretty steady. I was impressed with how everything worked out. And we ended up getting a full limit. We ended up getting our 20 walleyes. So thanks again. Here's your update.